Good day students, welcome back to your science class. Hope you all are healthy and good. Now last class we had actually started with a new chapter, that was chapter number 11, cell structure and microorganisms. In this particular chapter, in our previous classes, we studied about the types of cells. We also studied about the parts present in a cell. Today we'll be actually studying one part which is present in a cell in detail. So as we studied last class, let us do a quick revision of what we have done last class. So quick revision of parts of a cell. The first part of a cell is a cell wall. Now as you can see in the picture, a cell wall is the outer covering of the cell. Cell wall is present only in a plant cell. It protects the cell. It gives proper shape and support to the cell. Next part of a cell is a cell membrane. Now in this picture you can actually see that the outer covering is actually named as cell wall, and then below that we have the cell membrane. Cell membrane is present in both plant as well as animal cell. Animal cells, the outer covering is the cell membrane only. Cell membrane is also called as plasma membrane. It is a thin covering outside the cell. It is extremely delicate and flexible. It actually allows things to move inside and to move outside of the cell. The next part of a cell is nothing but the cytoplasm. A cytoplasm is nothing but the liquid part which is present inside the cell. Now this is present inside the cell, into which or on which we have the different organelles or parts of a cell, which is called as the cell organelles. The cell organelles are actually scattered in the cytoplasm. What are these cell organelles? We will learn in detail. So the next part of a cell is the cell organelles. Now here I have actually shown you few cell organelles like the nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, mitochondria, etc. We will be learning the important ones that we will require in this particular lesson in detail. So let us quickly start with the different types of cell organelles which are present in a cell. Each cell of a living organism contains various components for carrying out the life processes of the living organisms. These components are actually called as organelles. Organelles are similar to the organs which are present in a human body. Similar to this, the organs which are present inside a cell, they are actually called as cell organelles. Now let us begin with the first type of cell organelle, which is nothing but the nucleus. It is the most important organelle of a cell. It has a porous double membrane. So here in this particular enlarged picture of a nucleus, you can see that there is a double membrane, that is there are two outer coverings. There is one outer covering, and inside it we also have one more covering around the nucleus. So it has a porous double membrane. It is porous because there are a lot of pores in it. As you can see, there are nuclear pores which are actually shown in the picture. So there are a lot of pores. Through these pores, nutrients can actually enter inside the nucleus and move outside of the nucleus also. The nucleus controls all the functions of the cell. Hence it is called as the most important organelle of the cell. Now let us discuss about the next cell organelle. The second cell organelle is an endoplasmic reticulum. Now the endoplasmic reticulum looks something like this. It is actually a net-like organelle. As you can see, there are a lot of nets which are actually connected to one next to the other. The main function or the duty of an endoplasmic reticulum is to make changes in the proteins which are produced by ribosomes. Now ribosomes are another organelle which is present inside the cell. Their duty is to prepare, or their duty is to produce proteins. So the proteins which are prepared by them, they are actually processed. Some changes are made in those proteins and they are actually sent to the Golgi bodies. Now Golgi bodies are the next organelle that we will be discussing. Okay. So ribosomes are also a cell organelle. Similarly, Golgi bodies are also a type of cell organelle. So this is the basic function of an endoplasmic reticulum. Now here you can actually observe this picture. As you observe this picture, you can see that this circular thing from in the beginning, it is nothing but the nucleus. So this endoplasmic reticulum is actually attached to the outer membrane or the outer covering of the nucleus. So endoplasmic reticulum actually starts from the outer covering of the nucleus. And endoplasmic reticulum is of two types. We have the smooth endoplasmic reticulum and we have the rough endoplasmic reticulum. As in the picture you can see, this orange colored part, this is nothing but smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and the other one which is actually colored red, they are actually the rough endoplasmic reticulum. The only difference is that in the smooth ones, they are actually a plain one. There is no ribosomes which are actually present. But in the rough endoplasmic reticulum, you can actually see there are these black colored spots which are shown on the red colored ones. These black spots which are there, these are nothing but ribosomes. Okay. So those which have ribosomes, they are called as rough endoplasmic reticulum, and the ones without ribosomes, they are actually smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Now let us discuss about the next organelle of a cell. The next organelle is a Golgi body. Now this is actually a picture. This is an entire cell into which this green colored portion is actually the Golgi body, which is enlarged and shown here. Now this is how a Golgi body looks like. Okay. So Golgi bodies are actually made up of several flat sacs. So several flat hollow sacs, they are actually packed one above the other or one next to the other. So this is how a Golgi body looks like. It basically helps to distribute the proteins. So wherever required in the cell, their proteins are supplied or they are distributed because of the Golgi bodies. As we discussed in the previous organelle, that is endoplasmic reticulum, in endoplasmic reticulum there are changes made in the proteins and they are sent to the Golgi bodies. So from the Golgi bodies, they are actually distributed to the various parts of the cell wherever it is required. The next organelle of a cell is a mitochondria. Now this is a structure of a mitochondria. Now mitochondria is an organelle with a double outer covering. Okay, there is a double layer outer covering. As you can see, this dark brown colored outer membrane, this is the outer covering called as the outer membrane. Then you can see a lighter one which is actually folded. Folds, as mentioned in the picture, it is actually named as inner membrane. So it is a double membrane or a double outer covering which is present in the mitochondria. Okay, and inside it is actually filled with a liquid or a jelly type liquid which is filled inside, which is called as the matrix. Now a mitochondria is actually the powerhouse of the cell as they produce energy. So energy which is required for the cell is actually produced in the mitochondria. Hence a mitochondria is actually called as the powerhouse of the cell. Now this energy is in the form of ATP. Now ATP molecules, they actually supply energy to the cell. They are actually prepared in the organelle called as mitochondria. So they are the powerhouse of the cell. Okay. So the next organelle that we will be discussing after mitochondria is a chloroplast. Chloroplast looks somewhat like this. Okay. So it is a complete oval shaped structure. Okay, it's a kind of an elongated ball, now into which we have a double membrane. Okay, so we have the inner membrane, that is the inner covering. On top of it we have one more layer or one more covering which is called as the outer membrane. So as we discussed about mitochondria, chloroplast also have two coverings, an inner covering and an outer covering. And inside, as you can see, it actually has stacks which are there one above the other. Circular coins which are actually stacked or they are piled one above the other. Okay, and they are connected with each other. Now, the basic function of a chloroplast is that it actually helps to carry out photosynthesis, and also always remember that a chloroplast is present only in plant cells. Why? As I told you, it helps to carry out photosynthesis, and photosynthesis takes place only in plant cells. Hence, they are present only in plant cells. Okay. So, chloroplasts, they help to carry out photosynthesis. That is the process by which food is produced in a plant. The next organelle. Now let us see the next organelle. The next organelle that we will discuss is a vacuole. Now vacuoles are actually present in plant cells as well as animal cells. Okay, but the difference is that plant cells, they have only one large vacuole, whereas animal cells have smaller vacuoles that could be many also. As you can see in the picture, the first one is an animal cell and the second picture is a plant cell. Now in the plant cell, coming to the second picture, there you can see this purple colored elongated structure which is actually named as vacuole. It is only one. So plant cells have only one vacuole, and which is actually a larger in size organelle. Coming to the next one, that is an animal cell. Animal cells have smaller vacuoles and they are many in number. So the basic function could be, it actually helps to throw out the waste products of the cell. So whatever waste is produced in the cell, it goes and gets deposited in the vacuoles, which are actually thrown out. This is the basic function of vacuoles, either in plant cell or in animal cell. Apart from this, there are few more functions or work done by a vacuole, which is it helps in storage. Certain cases when there is certain things which are produced in excess proteins, excess fats or excess glucose is produced in the cell, it will be actually stored in vacuoles. It can also contain nutrients, water also. Okay. So apart from throwing out waste products of the cell, it also helps in storing of certain required nutrients, water also. So this was the last cell organelle that we had actually discussed in this particular lesson. So with this, we have discussed organelles like nucleus, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, mitochondria, and about vacuoles, along with the organelle chloroplast, which is present only in plant cells. So with this, we have completed for today. Remaining topics of the lesson we will actually discuss in the next upcoming videos. Till then, bye, take care. Thank you.